So we should have a constitutional representative democracy. We say we're Democrat, but then we start going down the list of what do you believe in and what do you identify as institutions. So we should have a constitutional representative democracy. Yo, my people, what's up? Family, friends. It is I, Lawrence Sanders Jr. Thank y'all for joining me on Be the People. Happy Indigenous People Day and happy early voting day. So if you voted today, shout out to you. Much love. If you did not, you missed it this time. You have another opportunity, but it may be a little difficult. But if you did vote today, thank you for doing your part. Again, welcome to Be the People. I am your humble host. I am Lawrence Sanders Jr., where Be the People is a call to action. And if you're driving home, as I say it every week, be safe. Keep your eyes and hands on the steering wheel, eyes on the road. But if you are with me, you rocking with me, drop a comment in the comment section. We'll say, hey, may give you a shout out. But today, it's bittersweet just a little bit. It is the mid-season finale. So it's not gone for good, but we're going to take a quick break, kind of refine, figure out what we did well, what we can improve on to make sure we are giving y'all the best content that we can. Y'all, it's just, I love doing this. Shouts out to Mr. Lamar Falk himself, man. I saw this dude had a whole article written on him in the Dallas Observer or something like this. So that's how you know you're big time, when you got an internet network and people come and ask you questions and then they publish it. So you know you're big time. Just waiting to get a check from Brother Falk. No matter how much, it can be $1, it can be lunch. Don't matter. Carton of eggs, gallon of milk. But shouts out to him and the production team. All right, so let's get into it. Season finale. I brought some friends. We are family, one big family. Hey y'all, let's go. Like, just bring the peoples in. Like, let's get into it. I think we got a really good show tonight. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna talk about some stuff, and then we're gonna get on out your way. Remember, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go like and subscribe. We got some new faces too, which I love it. This is just a possible prequel to the upcoming season. Not necessarily a prequel, but what is it? I forgot the word. Anyways,
it's just the mid-season.
Yeah, it's a mid-season. This is the word I was looking for was not prophetic, but what is it? It kind of foreshadows. Foreshadowing. I think I'm acting like Lamar a little bit. I had a Lamar moment. All right, so
we're not going to
I want to go ahead and get into it. Listen. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste no time. I want to get into it. So based on tonight, we know tonight was early voting. Or we'll start there. We'll start with Kanye's campaign ad. We'll save the early vote. Did anybody see our beloved brother West his ad? Do we all see it?
I saw it.
Yeah. Here's my issue with it, and we can chime in and figure out. Here's my issue with it. I think Kanye has found a way to profit off of religion. I think he's found a way to turn Jesus into profit. If we look at his last album, his last record, and what Kanye been doing, he's been singing about the love of Jesus, and he's been making a lot of money. He was irrelevant. He was canceled, found Jesus, started singing about it, released a record, and we love Kanye again.
Jesus made him a billionaire.
Didn't he?
No, right, because I mean, it's just not the whole new album. He's been doing this since Jesus Walks.
Yeah. I'm about to say Jesus Walks was like the first time he did it, and he got billions off of that.
I think Jesus Walked Kanye and New Jesus Now Kanye. I think them two different yays though. I think college dropout yay and Jesus is real yay. I think them two different yays. And I saw the campaign ad, and I get what he's trying to get at. I see he's trying to use the Jesus and the get back to family dynamic. I see the premise. I don't think it's gonna work.
Well, you know what? So Kanye reminds me. So I'm a PK. Y'all know what that means.
Oh, God bless you. She's
I had no idea.
Look
that you
at
were
this.
You what? She's a what?
She's a preacher's kid. Look at that. Lord
Oh, she's a PK. Oh man.
Don't start.
You must be Kojic.
But Kanye to me right now, the new Christian, when somebody just finds Jesus and they just have that zeal and that knowledge and they want to run with it and tell everybody and share the good news and the gospel. That's how I feel Kanye is right now. Yeah. He just has his eyes open to Jesus and he's just ready to share it with everyone. But honestly, it is not the time for the campaign ad. You can do that in 2024. Right. We are with you. But not, what are we, 20 days away? 22 days away from election? We don't got time for the foolishness.
I think this was a move by the evangelicals. If you ask me, I'm gonna be in my Lamar Falk bag tonight. I think this was a move by the evangelical church. I think in order to get Trump, or even not necessarily get Trump votes, so that Biden does not get votes, I think that this was a move by those who support Donald Trump. They told Kanye, who was easily influenced, who don't be on his meds, it's like, yo, Kanye, you can do this. Hey, listen, go do it. Go for it. And Kanye was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And you got idiots.
You know what I'm about to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. A lot of people are not going to do. I'm going to box Kanye in, right? So Kanye is just an artist to me.
Take the shades off.
All day. Kanye is just an artist to me. Kanye can only talk to me about music and sneakers, right? Kanye can talk as an American citizen. He can talk all the nonsense he could talk to, but I don't want to hear it. Do not put it on my airwaves. Do not put it in my ear.
I 200% agree. I agree. I think, and don't get me wrong. And really? I love Kanye as an artist. I love him as a producer. He is probably hands down, as a producer, one of my favorite producers. I'm talking Common and all these other guys. But when it comes to politics, bruh.
That's in your lane.
Kanye is actually my favorite rapper. To be honest with you, it was a minute.
West?
Yeah, I actually like Kanye. Actually, all of his stuff. But I'm not interested in his politics.
And I think he's a brilliant mind. Like, don't get me wrong. I heard T.I. say this. T.I. said that Kanye West is our Michael Jackson, and to a degree. When it came
and R. Kelly.
All right, now
I'll call you back. Here. All right, so
I'm gonna just put Kanye West like this, right? Kanye West is our Picasso. Kanye West is our.
He's a genius.
So I thought on Kanye is
right. Here's why I say stick to the music, right? Number one, on his whole little speech that he did, right? First off, he has no realization and recognition and recognize
of what's happening.
Yes, or no realization and no empathy and no accountability. So, for example, the colors on the flag in that commercial, he
black and white,
right? He violated right of changing the colors on that flag, which now tells me that you do not care about America. First off, number two, right? Then you have this whole imagery that he has. I don't understand the whole space thing, right?
I'm not a fan.
Family. But it's like he has so many different points that he's just not making, right?
He didn't take his meds.
And meds, right? Let's just hold this man accountable. Let's just hold this man accountable for what it is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But let's just hold this man accountable. What I mean by that is we keep saying, okay, Kylie doesn't take his meds. All right, let's force him to fail. Let's not nourish him. Let's not say, oh, we miss the old Kanye. No, we going to develop, you're gonna have to fall, my man. Right. So what I mean by that, think about what he said in South Carolina about Harriet Tubman. Right?
I was gonna bring it up. Yes, sir.
That was deeper than our minds are able to go.
We're not
that deep.
What he was trying to say, right? I could understand if he was trying to say, okay, well, Harriet Tubman freed slaves from the South to bring them up north to possibly be enslaved. Not because she fed them to slave owners, but because they could have gotten enslaved because they were free and they didn't know where to go. But if he couldn't articulate that point in 20 seconds or less, why in the hell would he be a president of the United States? Exactly. We already have a guy that can't articulate a jack. So I'm not dealing with this game here, right?
Right. I'm listen. I 200% agree with you. I think Kanye should definitely. Hey man, I think he's an amazing artist. I don't think anybody can take that away from him. I think he's probably one of the greatest rap artists, producers of our time. But like it doesn't. His ad didn't seem personable.
You know, he didn't even have his own family in the ad,
and that's what I'm saying, right?
Like Jennifer said, he was reading cue cards. He's reading the teleprompter.
You're right.
Like Jennifer said, it was ridiculous. Like we could see you reading them, like we see Trump reading them going back and forth. Like, what are you doing, fool?
Right.
So where's your family?
We don't.
My man said, obviously, prayer. That's when he lost me. He was like, obviously. Prayer.
It's like, yeah, and I get it. You found Jesus. Listen.
Amen.
I'm with it. You know, thank you. But it's like, bro,
Tam, please.
We need.
Yes, Tam.
We need more Big Kanye on Ice until 20. Yes, like what's that movie, Demolition Man? Can we do that?
Right.
I want him to continue this in 2021, like Tam says, because I want us to hold Biden accountable. I don't want him to think that he's about to get in here and it's going to be a smooth ride. All the blacks have voted for me, and I'm the guy. I'm the Messiah. And nope, I want it to be hard. I want us to hold his feet to the fire. This is what we want. This is what we want, and you have to do it. And
Kanye Biden going to win.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
You're right.
Nobody wants the Kardashians in the White House at all. We dealt with Melania. Don't nobody want y'all up in there.
Be best.
Maybe that's why he kept him out the ad.
We don't want y'all in there.
Can I?
He didn't even want them in the
say
ad.
something
You're
too?
right, Lawrence.
Yep, I'm just saying. Hey, you got it, Doc. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Noble.
No, you good. So again, with Kanye West, it's like looking at this Oreo bag, you know, this Oreo thing of cookies. It's delicious when you bite into it, right? You know,
logging off.
You know, it's kind of like one of them things you just be like, do I really want them Oreos right now? So it's like when I see this ad about Kanye, great music. If you go back to College Dropout, you know, late registration,
yes,
Kanye, you know,
I love late registration.
808 Heartbreaks.
Look, that was a terrible album. But
808
look, he like a bag of. I didn't really like it, but that's when he like a bag of Oreos, right? He like, man, I got to have these Oreos right now. But when you like trying to fix yourself and fast and all this other stuff, you look at it like, nah, Kanye, I can't deal with you because there's no credibility. Like your integrity at this point, with what you've been doing and how you've been doing things for the past couple of years. Nobody trying to hear that. You know, we're not trying to hear it. We're trying to hear sensibility and simplicity right now. We want a stable government. We want a stable nation. We want a stable economy. Your coonery can wait until 2021, and then we'll sit back and be like, okay, Kanye, all right, come on.
And see, I won't go so far as to call it coonery because I actually agree with a lot of the stuff that because I'm a conservative. For the most part, conservative moderate. I'm not a Democrat. I'll say that. So a lot of the stuff that he talks about, I'm cool with it. It's just not the right time.
Right.
Let's get to some normalcy. Let's reset.
And when I say,
but he flip flops. You can't. He like Trump.
He'll never be president.
One thing today, and tomorrow he flip flops. I need somebody who's going to keep consistency. We have not had it in the last 4 years.
4 years. You're right.
I'm not about to deal with another 4 years, especially from Kanye. When you talk about family and you can't even bring your own family,
you put your own family on there, right? And that's
so you can't even be true to yourself. If you can't be true to yourself, then how are you gonna be true to this country? We already dealt with Donald Trump. Sorry, sorry, y'all. I call him that. I ain't gonna say it on here, but who has no heart, no soul, no compassion, no anything. I mean, I'm not saying Biden is the way because I'm gonna be honest. If it was another Republican that was running that was strong enough, I probably would not vote for Joe Biden at all.
I'd probably be voting for the
However, he sounds like a president.
Like at this point, I think I'd vote for Mitt Romney. If Mitt
I
Romney
wish he would run. I wish Bloomberg would have stayed in the race.
Right.
Bloomberg would have a vote. Come on.
It don't matter which Republican. It doesn't matter which Republican is in the race, right? The fact is, you got the Republican who's in the race right now, and this character in a quarter is So you got your man Kanye, who is basically saying, "Hey, write in my vote, write in my name as a vote." Right? He's a dangerous creature, right?
I'm with Sam. Sorry.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. Here's what it is. Here's where whoever put him up to this, they used the wrong person. The person that I would have used to do this would have been Candace Owens. That
I don't know. Great people.
Wow. Not Candace Owens.
She's smart. Candace Owens, right? She's smart. Not only is intelligent and articulate, right? She's the only Black Republican that I know that has gone in front of Killer Mike, T.I. Anytime she's called in front of these Black Democrats, she's actually stood her ground. She sits there, she's silent, and she listens.
She knows her stuff. She definitely knows her stuff. She's educated. I can get with a whole lot of what she says until she goes to the point of defending Trump and trying to do the Rush Limbaugh, saying shock stuff to get attention. But the basis, the foundation of what she believes, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Because the girl is a beast.
Yes.
I will say this. I will say this, and we talked about Chad, and she was in. Have you guys seen the Uncle Tom joint? She was a part of that. I think the issue with Candace Owens is this. I agree with her to an extent. Once you start bashing the people that you call yourself trying to help, you lose me. Right. You lose. I get it. You are articulate. Like you articulate. You are educated. I get it. Some people may even find you attractive, but when you get to the point of calling Black people idiots, it's just like no.
See, Candace Owens is what we Candace Owens is what we call in the hood. Well, I ain't gonna use the actual term, but she's a band. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can read between the lines. Absolutely. And it's like, yo,
what is it? Say it again.
B.A.N. B.A.N.
Oh Lord. And
I ain't got no hood cred.
We follow you on Facebook. You don't? No, not at all.
And she be the type of person that would get run up on just for the stuff that she's saying. And again, you're African American and you bashing African Americans like we ain't put you there.
But here's the thing. Hold on.
Oh, I just called
Candace Owens point. Candace Owens point, right? And I'm a fan of her to a certain extent because I listen to her and I hear exactly how she goes, right? Mm-hmm. You said people would run up on her. No, they won't. Right? Zimmerman's still alive. So
in Philly, they will.
Right?
But go on.
Philly, DC.
In Philly, they will.
Cali, we gonna run up on
you. In Philly, maybe. In Philly,
they will.
If Philly, they will. Broad Street, I'll give you that. But
Cali, we gonna run up on
the hood came out here.
Like, what's up, cuz?
But as I was saying, right, with Candace Owens, right? She had to basically say, so there was that whole BET revolt cipher thing that went on, right?
With Killer Mike and
all that. And she said the exact same thing Louis Farrakhan said, right? Yeah. And everybody started booing her. And then Killer Mike said, nah, Farrakhan said the exact same thing. So that tells me, so that's why she goes against all the Black folks, because she's like, yo, y'all don't listen. Y'all just rather hear the same message. So it's basically, her message is, listen to what I'm saying and listen to who the messenger is. A lot of us do not listen to the messenger and we don't like who the message is coming from. So that's
how she can't be talking because she's married. She's married to a British lord. So how in the world?
Smart
she's
move.
Married to a British lord, but
don't talk to me about being Black.
But again, exactly. You can't talk to me about being Black.
But I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, I tell her too. Don't talk to me about being Black.
But you know what? But at least Kamala got a little bit more hood in it than Candace do. Kamala sat up there in the debate was like, hold up. Supposedly, we'll give her about 2 gold stars of hood cred.
He wouldn't have had that many.
Wow.
Okay, so 1.5. What 1.5? So let me turn it that way.
Well, if anything, I will say this. I will say it was definitely a failed attempt by Kanye. And if you haven't seen it, go look at it. It'll probably be on in a couple of days. Just don't vote yay, because remember,
no, it's on YouTube.
A vote for Kanye is a vote against the man that we need in the office. All right, so
say that again. Please repeat that, because last election people were voting outside of the people that was on the ballot, and that is
they were writing Mickey Mouse.
They were right. They were right.
We're not having it this year.
So remember, if you do not vote specifically for Joe Biden, if you vote for Kanye West, we know he is not going to win.
You're an idiot.
You know what?
A damn fool.
One last thing. Real quick. The person that I honestly believe, if they played their role really well, black woman, that could have been dangerous in the White House, would have been Omarosa. If she knew how to play her role.
So we should move on to voting predictions. So tonight it was early voting tonight.
Like I didn't even hear that.
Today it was early voting, and I will say I saw online today that there were, even in Houston, there were some 24-hour voting polls. So I want to see yes, which was crazy. I thought it was but there are 24-hour voting polls, because there were long lines everywhere. Everywhere there were long lines everywhere. So based on the vibe tonight, what y'all saw when we went out to vote, what are your predictions? Who wins this?
I think I believe it's gonna be a landslide. At first I was like, I don't know, Trump might win. I think there's a lot of folks that are still acting as though they like Trump, but they're still scared of Trump and what he might do. And there's a whole lot of old white folks that got preconditions that need this health care. So the more they talk about taking this health care away, you messing up a whole lot of your base sitting in the trailer park over there. Ain't got no job.
So they're threatening about with the Biden presidency. I do kind of want to touch into this a little bit. Do you think he'll bring back Obamacare or something like it?
He will.
Do I think Biden will?
Yes. Healthcare.
Well, that's the thing. Obamacare has not been repealed. They're still trying to change pieces of it, but it's not repealed at all. So what the administration currently now is trying to do is repeal it completely. Yeah, they've gone in and they've changed certain things, but the fact that they still don't understand how to repeal the portion of healthcare for all without putting something in place of that, that's what's really stopping it. And again, this is why we need someone in office that's going to fully fund the Affordable Care Act to its completency from what it was when it first started.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
When it comes to the affordable health care, there's a lot of people that actually benefit from it. And to think that people will go out and try to vote for someone who had COVID, who has the best doctors around, that would try to take something from people who don't have the best doctors, who have pre-existing conditions, who have things that they need to get done and need that subsidy to get by. And for people to know that and will go out and vote for someone who wants to strip that from them, knowing that he had the extra rights, he had extra doctors around him, he had the best care, but he's privileged, so he has that. So I feel like people, when you say people about the affordable health care that need that, when people go to those voting booths, they need to keep that in the back of their mind. And I mean, even Biden, he didn't do as good as he should have on the debate, but he made a point. He said, look at the beds, look at the people around you who's no longer here because of what COVID did. You got to think about the things that's actually really happening and realize when you get in that voting booth, you got to put everything aside. It don't matter what somebody said in the past. You got to really think what's happening right here,
right now, in this
right
moment.
now.
Absolutely. Do we think Trump really had COVID? Because he was good. He was good in 2 days. Like two days, he was good.
I think he had it. Go ahead. My bad.
So quickly going back one step. I'm in the state of Florida. I know y'all in Texas. Predictions wise, in a vacuum, it would be Biden. but because based off of everything going on, I'm thinking it's going to be close and it's going to be Trump. And the reason why I said that is because I could vote in Connecticut, and I was trying to do my my vote down here in Florida, and apparently they cannot find me in the system whatsoever. And I did everything correct. So right. So great luck there.
That was me.
Right.
So I'm from Philly. I moved to North Carolina. They said they couldn't find my absentee ballot. So I waited in line. I changed my driver's license, and now I'm voting early on Friday.
There you go. Right. I can do the same type of. So, but there's not a lot of people that's going to take that initiative.
Right. It's just it's the extra step that they have to take, and it's like, do I really want to do this?
Right. And they'll vote, and they be like, oh hell, I tried. And they don't
I tried.
It ain't the Lord's
will. Exactly. They're gonna have that mentality.
It was not the will of God. It was not the will of God.
But people died for this. Do they realize people died for us
to
be able to vote?
I'm with you 100,000%. It's just that extra step.
Whoa, Charles, what's up, man? You all right, bro?
I felt that myself.
I didn't even watch it. But nonetheless, do I think he had COVID? Of course, I think he had COVID. Because if you watch, he was following the reaction of what people with COVID have, right? However, he still has COVID. He's not cured of COVID.
Okay. Now we get somewhere.
He can't cough.
Because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I think that I'm with you. Like, I think he had COVID. I think he has COVID. Yeah, I think now, though, to save face, and he has to get back on the campaign trail, and there's a cure that he has to push and all this other stuff. It's like, hey, y'all, Doc, give me the shot. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations.
Soon as those meds were up, he gonna drop down.
You know,
I ain't gonna say it.
That breathing that he did, you saw him when
he couldn't breathe.
Where's the air at?
You talk to any medical professional.
Cough one time.
You talk to any medical professional. When he went up them stairs and he took off his mask, right? He did not have to do, but he wanted to show the world how strong he was. Yeah. He struggled to breathe. You know he still had it.
And don't let him catch the flu during his flu season.
That is a wrap.
You know
ain't gonna be no lecture.
You know what's sad about this whole thing? We got people working from home now. We got our kids home from school, doing virtual school and everything. And him selfishly, because he can't go face to face. We don't need another debate. I don't want to do another debate because it's virtual. Well, guess what? Because of your poor decisions, we're all virtual now.
Right, we have to be virtual. Right.
So why can't you do it? You're supposed to be the leader, but you don't want to be the leader. It's either my way or the highway. And he chooses. He's like, if I can't do it my way, I'm not doing it at all. That's childish and toddler behavior.
Well, that's who we have for a president. That's exactly who we have for a president.
But here's a quick question: Who are y'all more mad at? Are y'all mad at Trump or y'all mad at the governors? So, for example, right before I follow, right. So you have two governors: Georgia, Florida. You got little Ronnie DeSantis, right? Who's little Trump.
Yeah.
My man opened up the state, never made a federal mandate to put masks on. Kemp opened up the state, all that other stuff. Trump made it where he could not be fully accountable to where if they ever
he left it to the hands of the governors. Absolutely.
The governor.
But he also said he wasn't giving them funding if they didn't do what he said.
He's playing the game with him.
Playing the game. He's a businessman. He's a
politician. Do what I say, or I'm not sending no money to your state.
Right. He's a politician.
So he's
not a politician. He acts like a businessman, not a president.
Correct. And just because of that, right? So now if you have a governor who you hear, I'm not giving you no money in your state, right? If I'm a state governor, I'm like, all right, how much money do we have? So now the state's got to run like a franchise, right? And how much of them state politicians know
exactly how much marketing we're gonna give you if you do what I say.
Do what I say.
I would be playing chicken.
They have state treasurers, which tells me
it's called bully ball.
Yeah,
bully ball. I have not heard that in years.
It's called bully ball.
Wow. Good night.
Not good night.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. So now I guess we can agree that we're looking at the tide is about to turn. We're looking at a win for Biden.
Let's hope.
Long story short.
Because I have a feeling people gonna be throwing their vote to Kanye. I'm serious.
I hope. I don't think anybody.
You know why? Because look how he waited to the end. That campaign he did is fresh in their minds.
Right.
It's fresh.
If he does another one in 10 days, then you know that he's
fresh.
Serious.
I'm telling y'all, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I just saw it yesterday. Let me go out."
Like, but describe the demographic of folk that will listen to what he's saying and take it serious.
They don't have to. They
ain't vote. They not voting.
Right.
The dudes.
You know who gonna listen to Kanye? You know who gonna listen to Kanye?
millennial kids.
People.
Yep.
People that are 25 and younger.
They not. And they may or may not be voting. Anybody that's that young that knows enough about politics knows that what he's talking about is foolish and he can't win and they're not gonna vote for him.
He don't even believe what he's talking about.
I don't know, Lamar, because you got to think like some of these millennials, they believe if you tell them that the sky is green and we all know the sky
and the earth is flat,
they're gonna be like, no, the sky is green and the earth is flat and this is why it is because Kanye said so.
If you go on TikTok, it's a right.
And that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Hopefully, it's not enough for them to have any effect, but
Biden just got to do a TikTok real quick.
It's not.
And we in.
Right. Hopefully, it won't have any effect.
You put it on TikTok, they're gonna believe it.
Right. Well, hopefully at this point, and I'm with you, Lamar. Hopefully at this point, it won't have an effect. I do want to talk about this though. I do want to bring this up. We talked about this last night on Lamar's show. Police reform. We talked about this last night on Lamar's show, and I kind of wanted to bring it back up just a little bit. I think I won't say it got heated last night, but there was a point in the conversation.
It was good.
It was real good. So I was like, you know what? I want to talk about it on my show tonight. You know, this is Be the People, right? So police reform. Should we do it? Should we not? And if we do, like what does it look like? And I'll start like last night. I talked about like I'm all for police reform. I believe it's just too many people dying at the hands of somebody who's supposed to be serving the community. Yeah. There are so many things that need to change. And so I think that will be a platform in which these next few candidates, if they really want to make a dent, especially with the African American community, if Biden was smart, he would put something together and really drive that. I mean, I think that would really secure it. I mean, I feel like Trump's idiocracy is definitely helping Biden. But if Biden really strategically wanted to put something together to really grab the vote of the African American and minority community, I think police reform could be something. What y'all think? And yes, it got heated. It definitely got heated.
If he
can I go? Because I wasn't on last night.
Okay, go.
I feel like she feels like some kind of way about that.
I'm nervous.
I mean, no, honestly, I 100% believe that we need police reform. And I'm saying that. So before I was that person that was saying, oh, it's not all police. It's just a few. It's too daggone many. And imagine the people that we did not see before the video cameras and what Rocky King was never recorded.
Right.
Like these things that we have to really take into place. And I feel like can I count? Yeah, all 5 of us.
He just came back.
Ran in somebody's house, shot it up. We all going to jail. It don't matter who shot. It don't matter who was in the car. It don't matter who knew about it. We all going to jail. There's no evidence needed. The fact that we all knew about it. We were in the car and we went to this place and we walked in this house. We're all going to jail. Why can't police who take an oath be held accountable for the same exact thing? I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no ounce of sense. So yes, we do need police reform. And I will eat my words that I said. I was that person not believing it was all police, but now it's too daggone many.
Right. I agree with Jennifer. I agree with. She said ending qualified immunity and paid administrative leave during investigations is the first. Like they kill somebody, they get paid.
They get a vacation.
If you suspended from your job, are you getting paid?
I wouldn't be. No, I wouldn't.
Nope.
So
if you laid off, you don't get paid.
None of us
you might
like
get unemployment, but you didn't get
like
paid.
They're gonna take my rank and everything else. I'm gonna go to jail immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Court martial.
Like court martial, exactly. So I mean, like I said last night, they got to be held accountable to the same standards. If they are to protect and serve the civil nations, the civil law, the state laws, and all that stuff, they raise their right hand and take an oath just like I do. Hold them to the same exact standards that you hold the United States Armed Forces. Period. Point blank. Put them through the same training, the same issues, like, because now we literally have to go to behavioral health now. It's mandated for us.
Wow.
That is in like all senior leaders now, like, you know, like if you're a commander and stuff like that, you have to go to behavioral health now. Have to. There is no and it's like they haven't put out like how often we have to go, but it's mandated that we go. And I think it's a good thing because we're under stress a lot. And if people don't understand the stressors that come with dealing what we deal with, not just military, but police officers as well. There's a lot of good police officers out there. There are, but then the fact of the matter is, they are overshadowed by the ones like
the bad ones, the bad
Siobhan, the bad ones, right?
But
so,
the thing about,
if you don't speak up, do you consider them still good?
Right.
Listen, it's just like when we would do something wrong, and it'd be like all of us and our cousins. If one mess up, we all get a whooping.
We all getting the belt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we all
of us get beat.
All y'all getting it.
Everybody get it.
The police reform actually goes back from the beginning, right? So I'm a believer in police reform. So let's say they're training, right? They're right now training for 6 weeks. That's basically an online class.
That's all it is. It's a paper certificate, right?
That's all it is.
Right? I'm sorry. If you make it 2 years, sorry, not 2 weeks. If you make it 2 years, I think they should take psychological training. They should take emotional intelligence training. Situational awareness. Situational awareness is if you have a spoon on your left hand and a fork on your right side, right? When you telling me, if I tell you soup, you pick up your left. If I say salad, you pick up your right, right? So why do I say that? Because how many times do they say, "Oh, I didn't know which side my taser was"?
Right, I didn't know. Right, and my gun was.
That's
absolutely.
How you don't know this.
Right. So that tells me that. Right. So now, also, any issues that come up, all money should come from the budgets.
Absolutely.
We talked about that last night. Right. If I heard Dick Gregory, he made a very interesting point, and he was talking about it. Dick Gregory said, get everybody, all the officers insured. And the first time they kill somebody, they lose their insurance. You no longer have insurance. Now you're no longer allowed to be an officer on the street.
Even going one step further, I believe if you shoot somebody and you are no longer able to carry a gun. Just because you shot somebody, you're no longer able to carry a gun for X amount of years.
Why can't they use rubber bullets? Like, I don't get it. Like, they use this stuff in training. They use sandbags.
But they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that.
Like, they don't carry guns in London, right? In England, don't they not? They don't carry guns, right?
You talking about the British police?
The British police,
they carry
they don't carry
flashlights.
Like the Korean police, they don't carry guns. They have sticks, and about 3 million of them gonna run up on you.
Right.
But you know what, though?
Like little ants. Beat you down.
Do y'all know Wall Street has a fund for police brutality? So when they kill somebody, when the police kill someone,
surprise me.
Wall Street has a bond. So when the police kill you, Wall Street has a bond. So when they have to pay out the victim's family, Wall Street cashes in on that. So therefore, and y'all can look it up.
Wow, that's good information.
But y'all gotta look it up and listen. I'm telling you, the police brutality will not stop because Wall Street won't stop.
Come on, Chef.
It won't stop.
Come on, Chef.
So it's not going to change because they need the money. They're going to capitalize on it. So because if you really think about it, why would Wall Street cash in on something such as police brutality if they think it would stop?
Because it's big money, it's big business.
Yeah. What's going to happen is they're going to kill. They're going to have to kill. They're going to have to kill the right black man at the right time.
Right time, right, and it's just going to be like the powder keg,
right? Like, I'm not saying George Floyd wasn't the right. He wasn't the right black man. A right black man. I'm not saying somebody of President Obama stature.
It's like, this is going too far at this point, right? It's gonna be like, okay, this is going way too far.
They would tear this shit.
Like, whoa, what happened here? You know what I mean? somebody of that stature where you have no negativity, like basically it's clean.
For speaking tonight.
Mm-hmm. Got to bring Jen on the show.
Come on, right? Come on, Jen.
Yeah.
She said boobies do not carry guns, and that is what a British police officer is called. They do not carry guns.
They do not carry guns.
Yeah, it just needs to be accountability. Like there should be accountability financially, even if, like y'all said, even if they just shoot somebody, they need to be fines. It needs to hit the police department in their pockets, no matter what. Because if you can't de-escalate, then what's your training? What are you doing?
Right, and it would be the same like she talked about, like medical malpractice. Like how many opportunities and chances do doctors get to kill people on an operating table?
None. They have none. So there's an ICU doctor, right? If an ICU doctor who's trying to save a life, if they actually make a mistake when trying to save a life, like putting a tube in somebody's neck wrong, right? Lost your license, and they work with 12.
And you get arrested.
Like Michael Jackson, doctor.
Yeah, right.
An actual doctor before they even get their license is about 8 years, because they got the 4 years of undergrad and the 4 years, 6 years of medical school, and then the 2 years of residency.
And think about it, like all education that these people have to go through, like people trust their lives in the hands of these doctors. Law enforcement is the same thing.
When you're younger, what your parents say? If anything happen, call 911.
Right, call the cops.
You call 911 now, you might not live.
What? Put DJs up there. Y'all see this?
Is an undercover cop, and so police are taught to kill if threatened.
So I want to know what the definition of threatened is.
Wow.
Right. And that's
the thing. Hold on. My uncle is a retired police officer.
There you go. That's how I get heated.
That's crazy.
That's how I get heated.
Because I'm tired of hearing the term.
I can't agree with that, because
maybe it's different in Texas.
My uncle being a retired police lieutenant or police, maybe, but him being a retired police captain or whatnot, he told me numerous times that there's an escalation of force.
Mm-hmm.
You meet force with the level of force that you encounter.
And he used to tell his officers.
So what force you meet with sleeping people?
Fired upon, fire back. Don't you meet force with force. If they're shooting to kill, then you shoot to kill.
Right.
Huh? But I don't know about they know not warrants and all that stuff. But I don't know. Virginia doesn't even have that thing of a no not warrant. You have to announce that, hey, you got a warrant, and go and then go in. So there's no such thing as a no not warrant in Virginia. So
it should never be.
The fact of the matter is, I can't agree with to share reality, but it should never be a such thing anyway. Like I don't even agree with police having that level of power to shoot if threatened, because that's the case. You can take anything as a threat. Me pointing
my life is in his hands. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then now at that point, I have the right to shoot you because you said you're gonna kick my. It should be. And when it comes to let's go to concealed carry permits. When you have a concealed carry permit, you.
All right.
Well, he got that dial up. He need
milk.
Hey, listen. I need the PK. Wait, can we get the PK? Can we get the PK to pray for his internet real quick?
Y'all gonna throw this on me? I shouldn't have said nothing.
All right. So I spoke to an officer, right? And this is what they consider a resisting arrest. So I come up to you. So Lamar, I'm a cop. I come up to you, right? Mm-hmm. And I tell you, blah blah blah. We have some conversation. You getting on my damn nerves, and I grab your hand. The minute you yank your hand back, you are resisting arrest.
Right.
You are. So at what point in life, if somebody grabs you, now I'm not an officer anymore, I'm just a human, and I come up to you and I grab your hand,
I'm gonna yank my hand back.
Right, exactly.
I might slap you. Like, what you doing, man?
What the fuck? So
grab my hand, bro. What's wrong with you, man?
Why is it okay for you to grab your hand back as a human, but not as an officer? It's resisting arrest.
Right.
So that's the power dynamic that they have that I just don't agree with.
And I think we need to reestablish that power dynamic. Absolutely.
Okay, I learned one thing. So I did not realize you don't even have to physically do anything far as resisting arrest, I witnessed my ex-husband. He like pulled his car up. It was double parked.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops came up and told him you gotta move the car, but he was like, I'm lifting a heavy jack. I can't really park around the corner and lift a heavy jack. The cops came and was like, well, he parked the car, finally got out, was walking up the street. The cops came back around and said, give me a license and registration. He's not in the car. So why do you need it? He's a CO. He was a CO at the time, so he had a CO uniform on. So it wasn't like he was out here,
right?
You know how they profile you.
Right.
And they was like, well, you going to give it to me? He said, no, I'm not in my car. They said they got another squad car pulled up. They told him, we're going to tase you because you're not following the officer's orders. And they locked him up. And if not, they were going to try to tase him and told him he was resisting arrest.
Wow.
But it happened so quickly that it shouldn't even got that far because you came against someone who was walking up the street.
Right.
But PA has certain police officers. If your car is a certain way, they'll ride up and pull you over just because. If you're in a certain neighborhood in Pennsylvania, you're getting pulled over.
Yeah, you got.
You're a black male in Pennsylvania. You're getting. I got pulled over.
Low profile. I never heard nobody.
A little profiling I never heard
of. They do, but I got pulled over because I ran the light, so that was.
Well, yeah, that was deserved.
I got incorrect. Get a ticket or anything, because
I remember one time.
Yeah,
I'm going into a grocery store in California and police pull up and I have on a red hoodie. Now, mind you, I'm in college. Now, mind you, I just got on my hoodie, my basketball hoodie from college. And matter of fact, it was this hoodie. Well, I can't really show you, but I had it.
You still got it?
Immediately.
Right.
Yeah, I still got my college hoodie. Like, it's right here.
Now you gotta go get it. Now you gotta go get it.
Yo, you really still have it.
This.
Yeah, you look like you're gang banging there, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Proof of insurance.
But I mean, hold up. Blue was true for me. So, but so I'm going into and then the first thing the cop says, "Oh, hey, come here." I'm looking like, what? He's like, "Are you one of them treetop bloods or something? Why are you over here?" What? Wait a minute, bro. You don't even know me like that, cuz. Like he really like put it out there like that. But it's already an issue. It's already an issue that police officers profile. But when you get pulled over and then there's extremities that are taken for nothing, and then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we got the wrong person." You knew that from the start.
They know it automatically.
You know what this all sounds like to me? We don't know the law. I'm not saying we have to be attorneys, but we don't know the generality.
Yeah, know our rights, absolutely.
Right. We do not know what our rights are. We don't know if we are to be detained.
I know mine.
Arrested. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying we, as I just generalize all the blacks, because there's a lot of situations here, right? Where you watch these videos and a lot of, am I under arrest? Am I being detained? Well, there's more that you got to ask, right? If the cop says something to you, there's certain attorneys I will tell you, just follow what he says. It's an ego thing. It's a power trip.
I'm with DJ on that one.
Can we talk about that?
Oh, absolutely.
What you just said, you said we got to comply. I think that's one of the things we have to make sure we're teaching our brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles. You're not going to win in this situation.
You cannot win.
It's not a street argument.
Sit your ass down and get on the ground for a second. And argue and fight. It's minimized. I know there's some people that no matter what, the police still kill them, but do your best to try to minimize it because you're not going to win.
Exactly.
Right.
As much as I'm amped up when it comes to police, if I get pulled over and I drive a black vehicle, all black, everything, I roll the windows down. I put my hands up on the steering wheel, and the first thing I say is, "Hey, police officer, I have a concealed weapon, and it's sitting right here up under my seat. My concealed carry permit is in my wallet. Do you want to reach and get it? Because the minute I say, do you want me to do it, he's going to feel threatened. I ain't got time. I'm not trying to die tonight.
I do want to bring this up though. I get the whole comply thing, but there are plenty of examples where being complicit still puts you in a body bag.
And you're in the 50-50 case though.
Give one example.
You said give one example?
Give one example, yeah.
Castro.
Yeah, Fidel Castro. He did that. He told the police officer.
And his kid and his wife and child was in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, remember he was in Milwaukee. So the guy from Milwaukee, he told the police officer, he said, "Hey, I have a concealed." He said, "I have a gun."
Talking about Philando Castile.
Yeah.
Philando Castile. Yeah.
Talking about Fidel Castro.
Let me and Brittany be great.
Yeah. So you know.
Philando Castile was one of the known examples where.
So here we go. So Philando Castile, I'm not to sound like Fox News for a minute.
Brittany.
All we saw from that video was the woman saying, "You shot my boyfriend." We only heard her side of the story. There was no videotape of him saying, "Yo, officer, I have this concealed weapon." Number two, yes, that officer's voice was mad shaky and all that other good stuff, but that's all we heard. We only heard her side of that story.
But that's what came out in the investigation.
What about Eric Garner?
Yeah, that's what came out in the actual.
Eric Garner was illegally selling Lucy's, right? On the street, right?
Cigarette.
So you deserve to die?
With Lucy's cigarettes.
He didn't.
I call him that way, Lucy.
He did not deserve to die. However,
he did not deserve to die. That's not what we're saying.
You watch that video. This big old fella was fighting and tussling around, and they should not have killed this man, but he was fighting and tossing around. He's probably 400 some pounds. So they could have used that as an excuse. We got to try to get
away.
So here's the issue.
In the same way with Malcolm Brown. I mean, the police officer, the police officer shot that kid in the back after he was dead, after he was already on the ground.
Wait, which one we talking?
Clip in that Malcolm Brown.
The autistic child.
He was doing that before he was choked.
Yeah.
But
so here's the thing.
We're going off black kids.
There's so many of them. This is unbelievable.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Here's the issue. Right. Here's the issue. This further proves that this is the sad reality. Here's our sad reality, right? We talk about our best bet of getting out of a situation is that we're complicit, right? Yeah. But I think the unfair part of this is like I have to forfeit my given rights. I have to give up as an American citizen, what we talk about on Be the People all the time. I am granted these rights by this Constitution and this piece of paper. And because you pissed off and your wife is cheating on you with some black dude or whatever, you mad at the first black person that you see. And so now I have to forfeit those rights simply to comply with your ego. That's a problem. That's
but here you go. To that point,
get
right?
The black for one moment. It's not all. Did you see that little white child, the autistic
that was shot,
child, that the cop shot because the mom called? It's not at this point in time. I don't even think. I mean, I know it's a lot of us being targeted, but at this point in time, it's just something wrong with their mind. Because why would you shoot that autistic kid? What was the point of that?
It's the ego.
Was he 13, 12?
It's the ego. And Town says something very interesting. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Like, there are so many things that we as people who are not law enforcement, like, we didn't take an oath, but we have to be consciously aware. We have to be emotionally stable. Like, we have to make sure that we don't make any certain movies. We have to make sure that we're not doing anything that may threaten the officer. But it's like, what if they change their perception of how they deal with the situation? Like, what if they changed how they saw me when they walked up to the car? What if their tactic for how they did traffic stops changed? And so because if anybody here been arrested, yes, been in handcuffs, I have.
One time I was 19, 20 years old.
Like
I've been to jail before.
You know, like your emotional state is everywhere. And so they have this expectation for you. Okay, well, I have to remain calm. Like, I have to make sure. But it's like, but you're the officer.
So let me throw something at you this way, right? So follow me on this one. There's two things in the world that you can control. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this, right? There's two things in this life that you can control. One is your own actions.
My actions, right?
Two is the information that you give people, right? So now we switch up all the time. We talk slang, we talk everything, and we code switch on a minute of a dime, right? So
good afternoon, sir.
So, right. So I ask when a cop comes to the wall, when a cop comes to your car, when a cop approaches you and says, "Yo, what are you doing here? Why you want to know all that?" Now all of a sudden you puff up your chest and they look at that as aggression versus saying, "Well, I'm here to visit my friend. I'm here. Sorry, did I do something incorrect?" It's called humility, right? There's a moment in time where you have to play that ego and humility. If you want to get home, you have to be humble. Any lawyer will tell you in court. When you are a lawyer in court, it is humble. You have to be very humble because there's one person that makes the decision, and that's the same exact way that you have to act.
Even if it's a 1% chance that me complying is 1%, then I think we should.
I'm gonna take the 1%.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, we should never give them any ammunition to use.
It's a 50-50 chance on if you comply that you're gonna make it.
And that's the sad part about it.
Let's just be for real.
You know what's sad though? We have 4 black men on this panel, and what the King Noble, I'm gonna say it right, stated you're in Virginia, you were in Texas.
No,
y'all
I'm
in
in Texas now.
You're in Florida. Okay. My fiance is in Pennsylvania, and the same. Well, he in here now, North Carolina. But the same thing you said. When you saw when a cop come up to your car, you gotta roll your window down.
Right, it's the whole process. Listen,
it's like and I mean, I'm black, but I'm a woman, and I have a 14-year-old son who's taller than me and looks a little older than me, but he's still 14. And the fact that we all are in different states and this universal for black men around the world.
Gotta have that conversation with your kids.
You're right.
It's sad.
I was a little naive. I thought it was just a Pennsylvania cop thing. Not realizing it's a universal.
Texas.
Lord.
The Lone Star State.
You're in Florida. It's a universal for black men, and it's sad.
Right.
No, you're right. It's exhausting being a black man.
Jeremy,
I'm raising one, and it hurts me.
Jeremy, all black men. That's not
everywhere.
I have to disagree with what Jeremy's saying. I don't think black men are being taught this. I think some black men are being taught something totally different. It should be.
I agree with you.
My son knows. His sons know. So I think it's something that needs to be known at this point.
Yeah, like you listen to a lot of the lyrics. That
just come home.
Let's go to rappers. What do rappers say? 187 and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Notorious.
Now you went way back, bro.
Mother effing cop. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. You gotta
after police.
It's right. After police. I mean NWA. After police. Everybody knows that this has been taught to our people, to our black men, to our even some black women. Because I done seen some rough black women that will woo. But my thing is,
I'm not her. I comply. I gotta go home.
Let me show you how I know there's not like a lack of humility, right? When pre-COVID,
yeah, they are,
right?
DJ,
right? They still like that.
I don't know what radio station you listen to, DJ.
Before COVID, right? So before COVID, when we would go out to clubs and lounges, if there was a situation that would occur, security would come up to you. Y'all know what y'all would do? Not y'all, but you know what some people would do? They'd puff out their chest, right?
Fight security. Yep.
And they want to fight security. So how do you think how are you gonna do when you go to an officer? Because you feel like your ego is being like you have a camera in your car all the time, like you in a show and you being punked. It's as y'all said, just get home.
Male ego is a terrible.
Well, can I give a full?
Go ahead, madam.
No judgment zone.
Uh oh.
So I have fought security before. It was not my fault. Actually, we were you know how you just out having fun.
Yeah.
So security officer, I guess we were having too much fun, me and my family, and he decided to hit one of my girl cousins because her husband was like lifting her up, and he got an attitude and said, put her down, and he hit her. So I was younger. I was like 20 something.
On that Crown and Coke.
She was on it, right? That
Incredible Hulk.
Right.
Yeah, we jumped him. I mean, I pulled up the hills. It was going down. But still, the fact that he's a security officer, and I did, but he was a security officer. He wasn't a police officer. But his ego from just telling her, I told you don't be lift up. Like, she didn't lift up. Her husband lifted her up. Why are you mad and expressing just because you have a little security officer?
I bet y'all told him he wasn't a police officer too, didn't you?
Right.
What'd you say?
I bet y'all told him he wasn't.
They called him a rent-a-cop.
But no, I'm saying, if a security officer and security guard can have that, imagine the police.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, me personally, when I was at the club, I wasn't even trying to fool with security. You know why? Because I was too busy trying to get on them girls, man. I was like, hey man, hey girl,
trying to match.
I was trying to match.
Oh,
so I will say
this was good.
And I will leave on this note real quick. We to the final thoughts, but I will leave on this note. I am a firm believer that as a society, as a culture, things have to change. My rights and my privileges should never take a backseat to anybody's ego. There is no reason why I should not be able to enact my inalienable rights. We talk about it in the show. I should not have to forfeit these rights just because somebody is having a bad day. Police reform, I believe, is definitely necessary. It's something that we gotta have. It's something that we should definitely push for. And I think in this upcoming year, if Biden does win, I'm really hoping that he will really push and really drive. I know most politicians are considered to be the same. You know, everybody's selling wolf tickets, but I feel like this is something that really needs attention. I feel like our criminal justice system, our justice system, period, what justice looks like, it needs to overhaul. But I'll leave it at that. I want to thank y'all for joining me. I thank all my guests. It's almost like a big family reunion every time we get together. Like, it's just fun. And if you are tuning in, you like this, drop us a comment. Let us know what you like. If you have any questions, drop any questions. Remember, if you have not subscribed, like youtube.com TFG Political Media. Go like it, subscribe anytime we have an episode. And I want y'all to be safe. And just know I love y'all and be the people. Peace.
I love.